Hey guys, what is up? It's Artemnot here, and today we're talking NFTs because recently I completed my first NFT artwork, put it up for sale, and I thought this would be a good opportunity to talk about what the creation process was like for me, what's the story behind this NFT artwork specifically, how much money I made once I put it up for sale, and going through these, I'm going to give you tips throughout the video about what you can expect going into it if creating NFTs and sharing them later is something that you would like to do in the future. So we know the NFT market has exploded in the past 1 year, and that crazy amounts of monies exchange hands in the form of these NFTs. So let's take a moment and explain what an NFT is for the ones who are not yet familiar with it. The reason why NFTs are a cool new form of art is because they are stored on the blockchain. Now this might sound complicated, but let's work our way backwards and explain what this all means. I just said that these NFTs are stored on the blockchain. Why is that good? What's a blockchain? The blockchain is a long list of records containing all the verified and unmodifiable transactions that have ever happened in that ecosystem. Now the nice thing about this technology is that you don't need like two banks keeping track of two individuals' bank accounts and keeping track of their transactions, but instead it's us, the users, who get a copy of this long list of transactions, and it's all public. But you don't have names out there. It's just like having your bank account number out there that we call wallet address. And whenever one wallet wants to send another wallet some money, either as a gift or paying for something, all of us users are going to take automatically a look at this long list of transactions, see if that wallet really has that amount of funds, and if it does, we're going to accept this transaction. And once the computers behind the users agree that this transaction happened, we're going to record it to the blockchain, and from there on, it's there publicly and cannot be altered. Cool, so now we know what the blockchain is about, but how come NFTs are stored on them, and what are they after all? Well, NFT stands for non-fungible token, and what this essentially means is that they are objects that cannot be substituted because there is only one of them, or in some way or another they are marked by this proof of authenticity, because whenever someone creates an NFT, it gets added to the blockchain. And so there will be a record of that NFT being created at some point in the blockchain. And so this record in the blockchain can continue its life by being transferred to someone else, usually by paying for that. Now, NFTs can be anything you can think of. They can be collectibles, they can be artwork, they can be membership passes to live events, whatever you can come up with. And every item will have its own line of code specifically referring to that object, so it can always be traced back. And I know some people are rightfully asking, well, can't you just look at them on the internet for free? They are JPEGs on the internet after all, why would you pay for that? And I like to think about it this way. Yes, we can look at them online and we can even download them, so all of us would have the exact same thing. But once, it exists in the form of an NFT and there is only one single one on the blockchain, once someone becomes the owner of that, that owner will be more owner than the other owners. What I mean is that once that artwork exists on the blockchain as a one-of-one, there will be a distinct copy that someone can own that has this proof of authenticity behind it, and people are willing to pay for that. Well, let's talk about my NFT because I also made one and put it up for sale. What happened, how much money I made? Let's talk about that, shall we? I tend to call it NFT artwork because I feel like that's a subcategory of NFTs out there. My artwork isn't the usual generative high volume collection art that you see out there. I spent about 60 hours creating this, and it stems from a childhood memory. This is how the artwork looks. It's a recreation and my interpretation of a legendary tennis moment in sports history from the 2012 Australian Open men's singles finals between Novak Djokovic and Rafael Nadal, ranked number 1 and number 2 in the world respectively, done in pixel art. What's interesting about pixel art and the size of this artwork is that what you see right now would be your standard Instagram post size, 1080 times 1080, and if you scale it down to the original resolution of the image, the size I worked with, the size would come to less than the size of a cent. So that was a cool aspect of it. The other one is that it's a childhood memory for me, because when this match was played, we were at our grandparents' house in a totally different country, and we were leaving that day when they started playing, and so it was a 4-hour journey home. And once we got home, these two titans were playing the exact same game, which I found insane, arriving home and watching the same exact match. I'm gonna leave a link in the description to my artwork. I've wrote a little bit more detail about this artwork, but this match is at least legendary for the fact that it was a 5-hour, 53-minute long final, and it was between the world's best players. And what's more, I even draw and animated the last point of the match, so take a look. Here's how it looks. I think it looks awesome. I really enjoyed working on it, and by the way, if you would like to look up the real match, the actual broadcast footage, you can do that, because as of recording this video, it is available on YouTube. So maybe have a look at the game or just the last point so you could check how closely I managed to recreate that scene. Okay, but what happened after that? Because I put it up for sale, how much money I made? Well, I'm happy to tell you that absolutely nothing happened, and I made absolutely $0 from it. Yes, that's right. And on this channel, I would like to keep it real, sharing both the positives and negatives of what I do and what we do together. And I think this is a great learning opportunity where I can share what went wrong, not necessarily went wrong, but how you could do it better. Okay, first thing and first lesson. Selling NFTs is a marketing game. Once you decide to create an NFT, you should really focus on marketing it. If you already have an established audience, if you are a content creator or an artist that has thousands or tens of thousands of people following them, you will have a much easier job selling your NFTs once you teach your audience how they can buy and why it's cool. That's because if you are new without a following, it's really hard to stand out, make a name for yourself, get featured, and eventually you will just get lost in the ocean of NFTs that are being published every single day. It's a general tip that Twitter is a good place to network and showcase your NFTs and also promote them using hashtags. I'm gonna leave some links in the description in this topic. I have absolutely no affiliation with those links, but I just really want to help you out. So if you want to learn more about how to promote your NFT, check out the links in the description. Okay, second thing you should consider is where you publish your NFTs. I published mine using a site called OpenSea, which is the biggest NFT marketplace, and I used a blockchain called Ethereum. Now, Ethereum is probably the most well-known blockchain for NFTs right now, but because it is somewhat of an older network, it cannot handle a lot of transactions per second, and because there is so many users using it, the transaction fees that you have to pay for a transaction to be completed really took off, and it isn't really sustainable in its current form. Now, there are plans and works in progress that would upgrade how much traffic Ethereum can handle, but right now in its current form, it's not that sustainable for small-scale NFT beginners. So another option that OpenSea offers you is, for example, the Polygon network, which is essentially Ethereum, but with super cheap, ridiculously low transaction fees. But the problem is that the number of Polygon users is way smaller than the number of Ethereum users. So essentially the number of people who could buy your NFTs with like zero transaction fees, almost zero, there aren't that many. Now, there are a ton of cryptocurrencies and blockchains that host and support NFTs, but one that is becoming really popular is called Solana. The thing that people love about Solana is that it can handle way more transactions per second than the Ethereum network, making the network that much harder to congest, and therefore the transaction fees are way lower, making it easier to publish, buy, and resell NFTs. If you're interested in a crypto or a blockchain, just open YouTube and type how to get started on Solana. Open the top 5 or 10 videos, see what each of them has to tell you, and make your own judgment. That's exactly what I'm doing right now, just so I can bring you more content on NFTs and crypto in the future without you risking your own money to learn all this. Okay, third thing that you should keep in mind when creating NFTs. Now, probably the most popular among NFTs are these collections housing 500, 1,000, 3, 5, 10,000 items, which are essentially the same artwork but have different variations. Here are a few examples. You can see that they have a general theme, and every NFT inside that collection with that theme have varying traits that make them different from others. And if the collection is set up in that way, some might become more rare than others because the traits are not distributed evenly. These collections generally appeal to a wider audience and can draw in more people. Therefore, it is that much easier to resell anything you have from that collection. In contrast to that, the artwork I published is much more subjective. It has, I feel like, a more unique and novel idea and story behind it, and it revolves around a more specific topic. In my case, the artwork I published would be appealing to people who are interested in pixel art, tennis, sports history, maybe the two main characters, or the event venue, or perhaps me if I ever become famous and this will be the first NFT artwork that I published. So I would need a buyer who resonates with any of those or a combination of those in order to see the value in my artwork, compared to collections that house many similar NFTs of the same topic, where it's just that much easier to develop a community that people can belong to and create a feel of urgency to join this community. And also, the sites or marketplaces where you can publish and list your NFTs for sale are flooded with these collections housing many similar NFTs, and if you're just publishing one of one really special artworks, you will get very little exposure. And I'm sure there are marketplaces that are dedicated to these novel artworks, but the most recognized ones are invitation only, so you would have to show something before getting invited to join these platforms. So as someone starting out producing novel art, might not be that easy to join a site like that. In that case, I just advise keep on creating and showcase your work somewhere that you can then show to these sites that, hey, I'm a legit creator, I've been doing it for a while, please let me join your site and share my artwork here. And the reason why you would like to do that is because once you get into a site like that is specifically made for artwork like yours, you will be competing with other artworks in front of an audience who is interested in artworks. And that's always better than competing with everyone else in the market. So I feel like collections are easier to promote from the get-go, but unique one-of-one artworks seem like a long-term investment for buyers, just like how paintings are. So I don't know which one will be the bigger phenomena going forward. I would be interested in knowing what you guys think, so please leave a comment down below and let me know what you think of the future of NFTs. What kind of artworks will we see going forward? And once you're there, please let me know whether you would like to see more videos like this, where I wasn't necessarily successful, but I showcase what I learned and we turn it into tips for you guys that you can use later on. By the way guys, just before we finish this video, I wanted to share a little personal snippet with you, as I'm super happy because I graduated last weekend, so now I'm officially an economist in business administration and management, and I just wanted to put this at the end of this video to have something for the ones who watch it all the way through, as I really do appreciate that. So maybe we could have videos about how to start your own business and how to deal with clients, all that good stuff, so let me know whether you would like to see that. And thank you very much for watching all the way through. It really means a lot to me. Anyway, let's get back to my closing speech and wrap up this video. As always, I'm gonna read and answer to every single comment. If you found this video valuable, leave a like and consider subscribing. Also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. Arthur Knight. And with that being said, that's it for today. I hope you learned something new today. And as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.